Baby Jules and the like. I always love to see who's first.
Paul.
Ambient.
Paul. Paul's always first.
Good morning.
Besides, Mark, if you waited much longer, they would have thought we got fired.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this first Thursday of the month, a day that will live in infamy. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton here on the Florida Sports Network. FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Hope your week is going well. Thanks for getting over the hump with us yesterday. And now we can take you home from here. Thursday night football. What a humdinger it is.
We'll get into that later, David. I found it.
I'm sorry, what?
We'll get into that game later.
Wait, you found what, though?
I found it. I found the reasons to watch in perusing for. I've got a whole article on here on what to watch for in tonight's.
Hold on. Somebody was able to write an entire article of things to watch for in tonight's Patriots-Steelers game? I mean, number one, you've bet money on the game. What else is there?
I don't know if that's enough.
I don't think it's enough. I mean, in theory, you could just place your bet and just, wake up tomorrow morning and see how you did. Like Trent. I mean, he lost all $3 last night, and he deserved to, too. I mean, putting the Pistons in a parlay.
I won a separate bet on the Heat. So
they haven't won a game since Bill Laimbeer played for them. He's betting on them.
There's, I will say, Trent, there is a rule that David and I try to live by in the show from a gambling standpoint. Don't put good money on bad teams.
Yeah, it's a very simple. Now, that's because the two of us have put a lot of good money on a lot of bad teams. So once again, take advantage of our incompetence.
Yeah.
Number one, age comes experience and wisdom. Use it, Trent.
College football is a TV show, and don't put good money on bad teams.
There you go.
See?
There you go.
What, I feel as if, he's barely mid-20s, and I have a feeling as if we're getting him into the 30s here quickly. Okay, from a wisdom standpoint. All right, we're making good progress. And don't watch tonight's game unless you absolutely have to. Holy mackerel. In fact, you know what? We should ask early nomination for a poll question. All right. Iowa, Nebraska, New England, Pittsburgh. Okay. If you had to watch, if you won, what would you subject yourself to? For the record, Iowa, Nebraska went 13-10. Do you think we get there with New England, Pittsburgh?
Wow. That,
yeah. Uh-huh.
I am trying to find a way to not tell my wife that the Steelers, like, I'm wondering, work's been busy. She's been, the holidays are coming up. There's a lot going on in her life.
Right.
But she is a Pittsburgh native and a Steelers fan, obviously.
Terrible towels throughout the house.
Uh-huh. Multiple towels in our home.
Right.
I'm going to try to not, because she's going to say who's playing tonight. And I'm going to say,
I don't know.
I don't know, honey. What game? Is there a basketball game on? No, the football game.
Are you talking about the play-in tournament? It's really catching on.
We are owners of Steelers season tickets, my wife and I. And I'm going to a game when I'm up at Christmas. My wife flew up to a game with her mom, and we gave one pair of tickets to a friend. Other than that, we sold them, and they kind of paid for themselves for the year.
Right.
The hardest ticket to sell was tonight's game. Had to lower it way below face value just to get. And these were on sale before the season started. Usually the Patriots tickets are the first ones to sell.
Yeah, this used to be a hot ticket.
Yeah. This
Right.
used to pay for about half of the season.
I mean, I remember when it was Brady and Roethlisberger, not that many years ago. Yeah, now, what'd you get, about $12?
Something like that.
I mean, I don't know if I'd give you more than a 20. I'm serious. If you still had the tickets today, I'd be like, hey, I can't give you more than $20 for a ticket. Not for this one. No.
I think you're going to see a boatload of empty seats there tonight.
I think so too. I think so too. And Al Michaels should be in tremendous snark.
That's the only reason for me to watch the game, is to see how ornery Al is.
Is that number one on the article?
Didn't make the list.
Really?
What?
So you're telling me they found 4 reasons to watch?
And I'm not even going to get into it now. We'll get into it later. This is my tease for the day.
Well, you've got me hooked. Okay.
I
You
know
have
I'm
got me hooked. 4 redeemable qualities about the Patriots-Steelers game, and they don't include gambling or Al Michaels. I challenge you, sir. Over-under's 2.5 on those redeemable qualities.
I've read them, and I don't think it. Put it this way: I went through the 4. None of them give me any reason to watch the game. It's probably hurting the tease a little bit, but none of them gave me a reason to watch.
Okay, I love the fact you're going to lie to your wife. Okay, normally it'd be Steelers game's on, and if they're winning, ooh. Okay, tonight it's like, oh man, literally hide it from the women and children. Oh boy. So that's Thursday night football tonight. Hey, we had a good old fashioned big baseball trade. Huh? 25-year-old. I don't know if he's not a superstar, but he's a star. I mean, he is. He's tremendous. I mean,
he will be a superstar in a year because of where he's playing. Because well, the numbers justify being a superstar, David.
They do. They do. But he's played in Washington and San Diego. Okay. But yes, he does that, hitting in front of or behind Aaron Judge. And
my guess is in front of Aaron Judge because he gets on base. What's that? 421 on base percentage?
Correct. His worst season, I believe, in on base percentage is 401. Yes. Left-handed hitter at Yankee Stadium. I hear that's a good place to be if you bat left-handed. So Juan Soto's a Yankee. Brian Cashman getting rid of all his pitching. They've lost or traded 10 pitchers in the last 3 days. Between the Alex Verdugo trade to the Red Sox, they lost 3 arms in the Rule 5 draft yesterday. He traded 4 pitchers amongst the 5 players he sent to San Diego for Juan Soto. It tells me, though, Mark, they're signing him. And that ain't going to be cheap, but that tells me they're signing him. Now, what I find interesting about it is the reason he ended up in San Diego was the Nats offered him 4.25. And he said, no, I'll become a free agent. And they went, I'm sorry, what? And he said, no, I'm going to do free agency. They went, well, okay. We ain't going to be the ones getting the draft pick because you ain't going to be here much longer. I don't know if you heard me. We offered you $425 million. Yeah, no. Me and Scott Boras, we're going to elect free agency. Yeah, you do that. So here's the thing. You can't pay him more than Judge. I mean, seriously. If he wants to stay a Yankee, that was 9 for 360. He can't make more than 40. There's no way. They named him captain. All right. It's Aaron Judge. All right. He's their next Jeter. Only a foot taller and hits the ball a lot farther. So, I mean, Mark, he's going to have to, wait for it, settle for less than Judge.
You sure about that?
He can't make more than 40 a year. Now, he can
Come
go
on,
for a
he's-
longer term because Judge signed a 9-year deal at age 30.
He's
Turning
25 years
31.
old, David. I don't see why he can't make more than Judge. I don't. I understand.
It would totally it would not go over well. It would not. They can sign him to a longer term. They can sign him to 12, the Harper deal. They could go 12, 13 years with him. But I don't think they can pay him average per year more than Judge is making. Until he hits like 42.
But I mean, was Jeter the highest paid Yankee?
No, but Jeter did that intentionally.
Well, that's on him.
Jeter did a little Brady, okay, with the Yankees.
Yeah, I'll agree to disagree with you.
Okay.
I think he can be paid more because of his age. I do.
All right. Hey, it ain't our money, right?
Exactly.
I mean, so the Heinekens go from $14 to $16. I mean, are we paying them? No.
When you watch those games on Yes, look for the new advertisers. I mean,
right. So Michael K has to take a pay cut. I mean, is anybody going to, shed a tear over that? But good old-fashioned trade yesterday. He's a year away from free agency. He's got all the leverage. Juan Soto, a Yankee. They're remaking their team, getting younger, more left-handed, and trading away all their pitching. You could tell Brian Cashman's feeling the heat. It's make it happen time. He's been 4 years. Patience, organizational depth. We're not going to trade away our pitching.
Okay.
182 and 80 season. And it's like, what do you want? We want all these guys. Take them. They're apparently in a bidding war with the Mets for this 25-year-old Japanese pitcher. All right.
And they're talking that's going to cost a pretty penny.
But apparently between what the guy's going to make and then what they have to pay the Japanese Baseball League to, a posting fee, they think the whole thing could be about $300 million.
Right.
Oh, I hope he throws strikes. I really do. But now we're talking. Now we're talking.
We're talking for now. Now we just need the Ohtani deal to get done so the rest of the dominoes can start falling. And rumor has it that can be done by next week.
Of course, don't know how we're getting any information. No one's allowed to talk. Would that turn you off from signing him, by the way? The strict rules that he and his agency have put in?
No.
Okay.
No. The Tommy John wouldn't turn me off. We're talking about a phenom here. No, I'm doing whatever I can to sign him. And if it means I have to shut up and not talk to anybody for a month, lock myself in a closet and go in the dark for 4 days, David, I'm going to do it to get Ohtani.
Lock myself in the dark in a closet for 4 days. Wow. I have to admit, I'd really like some Ohtani highlights while I'm sitting on the floor in the closet. This is what I'm doing it for.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence. maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Yeah, did you see what Adam typed in? This is not a lie. Zappy and Trubisky both throwing passing touchdowns is plus 1750.
Whew. I don't think I can place that bet.
Gambling is the only reason to watch this game tonight.
Yeah, it
Do
really
you guys
is.
ever take flyers on stuff, or do you just only bet it if you think it's happening?
I don't gamble a ton.
Okay.
I like to really gamble.
Yeah.
Like I like $500 on a game. I like betting money.
Yeah.
And I don't have money to bet.
Yes.
So therefore I don't bet.
Smart.
Trent, I do. Like sometimes if the odds, like in baseball, there'll be a pitching matchup and a team is minus 350, and I'll be like, I'm going to go the other way. We've had a couple hockey ones lately. I mean, where one team was like minus 500, things like that, I would go the other way on. Take a flyer.
Yeah. That's what I like doing. I think it's fun.
Well, I mean, with the stakes that, you're throwing around, I could see. I mean, when $1,
15.
when $1 can be $4, I mean.
Wow.
By the way, did you see I was getting ripped in the Twitch chat room for not having the stream up?
Yeah, I'm the one that's responsible for that, you guys. It's not Trent.
They're like, oh, Trent, you're on thin ice.
Yeah, no, he's not. By the way, he's willing to get up and do this godforsaken show. So, no, he's not on thin ice. We had Felipe not turning the stream on and falling asleep in the show. We're flexible.
Yes, they are, Johnny Mac. And Fiend, sorry to hear that. And thank you for the kind words, but our best to your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Godspeed.
Thinking of you, Feeny.
The Heat did bail me out last night. Hard Rock did a boost on the Heat money line. It was plus 120.
The Heat were plus 120?
Yeah, it was a boost. They were plus 150, excuse me, to beat the Raptors.
What?
Yeah.
They run specials.
It's just to get people to do it. I put $6 on it, 115. There you go. So I made my Pistons money back.
Yeah, there have been rumors the last couple of days about Orgeron and going to Florida. I actually don't think there's anything to it, but I think there should be. Orgeron can sell ice to the Eskimos, and he's a hell of a defensive line coach. I'll tell you what, I am not impressed with Billy Napier. He's had a week and a half, almost 2 weeks here since the end of his season. He's done nothing.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively.
21 minutes past the hour. Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Got a good show lined up today. We'll talk a little Tampa Bay Bucs, talk a little Yankees, Dr. Roto in a couple hours to answer your fantasy football questions.
The gremlins are on us in the computer, David.
No, I know. You're locking up, and I could see it on the Twitch. You're going fuzzy. You're locking up. Yep. So I don't know if that means, does that mean, am I going over the air, or is, or when that happens, do you have to take over? Unbelievable.
Here on the show, text us when you feel the need. And I think you're back. Today, Trent.
Yeah, it looks like it. Buckle up.
Buckle up time.
Buckle up on a Thursday. It's not like we have anything important to talk about either.
Hey, I could get to the 4 things to reasons to watch this game.
No, you teased it. It's like the Aflac trivia question. All right. You don't just throw it out there and before the same series is over, answer it. All right. You let it, marinate.
Maybe we should have people text in their predictions.
You know what? Text or tweet what you think the 4 reasons are to watch Steelers Patriots tonight. I would like to see why our listeners feel they should watch it, because I think our reasons will be better than the 4 in this article.
Well, number 1, it's a condition of your parole.
Because we've had some spotty internet in the building the last couple of days, and that is...
We're just tied up on the train tracks. We're watching the train come right at us. There's nothing we can do.
We may have to find a new home. Oh, I know.
mollywopped, if you will, by the Buffalo Bills.
Welcome back to the show, David.
Hey,
We'll see.
I doubt. And also the Padres are definitely trying to, they got their whole set of issues. But
What I find fascinating is that I don't equal value. And I know Soto's going to be a free agent and they're going to lose him and they have to get something. This is where basketball bothers me more than baseball, because at least the team was the one that necessitated the trade.
right.
As opposed to the player demanding the trade. That I don't have a problem with the team saying, hey, we're going to lose this guy, get what you can.
Yep.
I have a problem when the player holds all the cards and can determine where he is going or how he is getting. And they had no, I mean, they sold out every game. So they got their return. Now they didn't win, but
Right.
the city was all in.
They took a swing.
Be patient.
Oh, I am.
They got to get,
I like the
get the plane before.
Information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on salttransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Do we have anything?
I don't have David. I don't know where he is. I don't know if he logged out and tried to log back in. I have no idea.
Did you text him?
Yeah.
We got 4.5 minutes. Plenty of time. Does this happen often for you guys or no?
No.
And yeah, I mean, at least we know it's on our end, and we're not just, because the people in the chat room. Is he back?
How are you?
Okay. Put some laundry away. I
Had breakfast. Thank you, everyone in the Twitch chat room, helping us troubleshoot this.
I know what it is. We need
Yeah.
a new computer. And then that'll probably never happen unless we buy it.
Or just switch it out for one of these over here. The 8 o'clock hour is just packed. 3 guests.
All right. Let's hope this works. I got stuff to do today.
Well, if it doesn't work, you could get to it a lot earlier.
Unbelievable.
David, are you okay?
Are you all right?
Yeah, why?
Your mic is
Yeah,
way
your
up.
mic is either way up because it's something. The breathing was like, I was looking down at my phone, like, is he all right? I did the same thing.
I can turn you down here. I just don't want to.
There it is. Bought my mom's Christmas present during that commercial break.
Okay. I was playing a video, Lindy, on my phone. It was my daughter and granddaughter. Their morning yoga routine.
Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the top of the hour. Roy Cummings, 1 hour from now. Dr. Roto, 2 hours from now. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Thanks so much for being with us. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
number 1 is the NFL. Zach Wilson back as quarterback of the Jets. Because Robert Saleh, with a straight face, looked right into the camera and said, because he gives us the best chance to win. Oh, for goodness sakes. How is Joe Douglas still the general manager of the Jets? Honestly, there's not a person listening to this show that could have done a worse job with the Jets since Aaron Rodgers got hurt than Joe Douglas. Golly. Mark, I don't know of this article that you're about to quote next segment or next hour about the top 4 reasons to watch Patriots Steelers, because I don't know how you get past the headline of Bailey Zappi against Mitchell Trubisky. But that's just me. The Steelers are 6-point favorites. Hell, are they going to score 6? The over-under is 30.5. It's an Iowa game. Or is it? That's what I got. Is it below it?
Just double checking. I'm not.
There was a time yesterday where it was 29.5. And I thought it got bet up to 30.5.
It's back up to 30.5.
Okay. So Steelers -6. Over-under 30.5. Basically, this sucker's got 18-12 written all over it. Did you hear the story about the ex-Jaguars employee?
Yeah. Stole a little cash.
And by a little cash, we mean $22 million.
Right.
And apparently he was placing bets. You know, they really frown upon that in the NFL. Here's my question. Was he doing it on company grounds? Because you're really not allowed to do it. They frown upon that. And the parking lot counts.
Well, and the app wasn't even live before. Was he using Ridley's bookie
Right.
to make the bets?
Well, Ridley was with the Falcons then, but maybe once Ridley came over, he told them, hey, I got a guy. Trevor Lawrence held a presser yesterday, and believe it or not, he was more focused on getting the organization off the hook about why it was he walked to the locker room and wasn't on a cart. Honestly, you know, they're like, no, we want to worry about your ankle. He's like, no. I got to straighten this out.
People were really bent out of shape.
They were. And he said, I refused the cart because the locker room's right there. And I thought it would be better to walk it off. And he goes, and actually it got harder and harder. So it was on me. But trust me, there was a cart there. They offered it to me. I said no. And he was really bothered by the fact, you know, this is a really good organization. They treat us really well. All right. If you're going to blame anybody, blame me. Then they're like, well, okay. How about the ankle? He's like, well, I don't know. It's a lot better than it was 2 days ago. Well, you going to play? He's like, I hope to. I don't know. Has anybody suffered a high ankle sprain and played 6 days later? I mean, usually it's 3-4 weeks. But Lawrence has never missed a start since he was drafted by the Jags. He's taken it seriously, so we'll see. Vikings announced after having some time to think about it, you know what? We're going to stick with Josh Dobbs. They've lost 2 in a row after winning 5 in a row. They're at the Raiders on Sunday, are the Vikings, who are 6-6 and currently the 6th seed in the NFC. So, Mark, what would you do if you were the Bills? Von Miller charged with felony domestic battery. He appeared last week in the Dallas police, posted his bond. Okay, he's back in Buffalo practicing with the team. He is available to play Sunday, and the Bills have said they're going to play him.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him.
Now, he's just been charged. All right, you are innocent until proven guilty.
I got you.
But
she was pregnant, right?
I believe, yes, 6-8 weeks pregnant.
I'm not playing him, just for the record.
I think you could justify not playing him because he hasn't done a damn thing this year, coming back from tearing his ACL on Thanksgiving last year against the Lions. By the way, Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy is going to be coaching hurt on Sunday. Any of you ever had your appendix taken out? All right. You feel like standing on the sidelines for about 5 hours, 4 days later, and coaching a football game? But Mike McCarthy says he's going to be there Sunday on the sidelines when the Cowboys are hosting the Eagles.
Shoot him up.
Hey, can I just not be flippant for a second? You know, sometimes the players get really close to you on the sidelines and they collide into you and they knock you over. I mean, he did just have
McDaniel that was one of the things on the Hard Knocks a couple of weeks ago. McDaniel got smoked.
Right.
Got hit and he got kicked in the nether regions.
Did you see the camera operator that got their leg broken in the Lions Saints game?
Oh, yeah.
That was ugly.
I mean, you know, I'm being serious here. He's an older guy. He's like me. He's rotund. Okay. You know, we can joke about all of our quickness and agility. That was before he had his appendix removed. I mean, I don't know if this is a good thing. I mean, don't we have to put like a wall around him at all times?
What if we put him in one of those inflatable sumo costumes?
I was thinking more like the Pope Mobile. Okay, and we just go up and down the sidelines with him, and he can like wave and send signals. No? I'm worried about Mike McCarthy. I've never been worried about Mike McCarthy before. College football, you don't know who he is. He was a backup quarterback at Georgia, Brock Vandergriff. Yeah, he's gone. He's transferred to Kentucky. Florida State wide receiver Johnny Wilson, he's skipping the Orange Bowl. It's a long list, apparently, on both sides of players skipping the Orange Bowl. He's going to the NFL draft. You got to love this. There's entering the transfer portal, and then there's being the coach's son and entering the transfer portal. Gunnar Gundy, Mike Gundy's son at Oklahoma State. He's graduated. Still's got a year left of eligibility. He's going to take it somewhere else. He's a quarterback. He's only played a little bit the last couple of years. What else we got? Texas, Oklahoma staying at the Cotton Bowl for another 13 years. Thank you very much. And Wyoming head coach Craig Bohl, who actually started this whole North Dakota State dynasty, and then went to Wyoming and has been there 10 years. He's retiring after I believe it's the Arizona Bowl. Major League Baseball. The Yankees acquired Juan Soto. They also picked up an outfielder that the Padres just were dumping in a salary dump. They gave up 4 right-handed pitchers and catcher Kyle Higashioka, who who's a very good defensive catcher, popular teammate. Soto's 25. He's got 1 year left of free agency. Orioles signed closer Craig Kimbrell to a 1 year deal with an option for 2025. Remember, they're all everything closer who won the, relief award, blew out his elbow right around Labor Day. He ain't pitching in 2024. So Kimbrell will be their closer for $13 million next year. Bryce Harper wants an extension. He's got 8 years left on a contract. I mean, I don't want to honk off the, heart and soul of my team, arguably best player on my team, but dude, you're under contract to the 2030s. No, we're good. He's like, well, I want to retire a Philly. What if the Phillies go, how about we worry about the next 8 years? I'll make you a deal. How about in 5 years? We'll talk about an extension, okay? I found that amusing. Former Tiger, Eduardo Rodriguez, signed overnight with the Arizona Diamondbacks for 4 years and $80 million.
Didn't he not want to go west?
Well, I wonder if he didn't want to go big city, big market.
Yeah. But it
Instead
was he didn't want to go west before, and then he signs in Arizona. When Detroit tried to trade him to LA,
right.
Arizona seems west.
I'd agree with you, Mark. It really does. No, it's southwest, but it's definitely west. Yes. And longtime Red Sox announcer Joe Castiglione won the Ford Frick Award. So he will be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. It is well deserved. You should see the list of like 8-10 that were nominated for the Ford Frick Award. It is a who's who of baseball broadcasting. NBA, Magic, a loser in Cleveland, 121-111. Heat, a winner north of the border in Toronto, 112-103. Our Trent Bally able to capitalize financially on the Heat winning. That's because he was dumb enough to bet on the Pistons, who had lost 17 in a row, but they were at home, he told us. Oh, well, that makes a difference. They only lost by 14 to Memphis, 116-102. That's 18 straight losses, which makes the Spurs feel better because they lost their 15th in a row last night. Timberwolves, who are 16-4, thank you very much, best record in the league, beat them 102-94. Hey, Embiid had 50. He's pretty good. Sixers beat the Wizards by 5. And Luka had a triple-double at the half. And it wasn't just a triple-double. It was like 30 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists at the half, triple-double. No one had ever done that before. Scored more than 25 points in a half and had a triple-double. He ended up with 40 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. He didn't play the fourth quarter. Mavs won by 50. College hoops, Miami won by 48. The Canes are 7-1. They beat LIU 97-49. Marquette, Shaka, got fired by Texas. Well, he scheduled Texas and he whooped them 86-65. JU. See, UCF lost to Stetson last week at home. So when another ASUN team came to Orlando, they were going to whack them. Yeah, they beat JU by 42.
Ooh.
Yeah. And JU was 6-2 showing up in the gym last night. UCF's now 6-2. And FAMU picked up their first win of the year on the road. They beat Presbyterian by 5. Women's hoops, this Caitlin Clark's pretty good. And by pretty good, I mean she's the first player, male or female, to have 3,000 points, 750 rebounds, and 750 assists in the history of college basketball, male or female. She had 35 last night in Iowa's win over Iowa State. NHL, Lightning beat the Penguins 3-1. That Kucherov guy, Mark, 17 goals, 27 assists in 27 games this year. See, he's healthy. That makes a difference. 3-1 Lightning over the Pens. Florida, 2 goals, 2 assists from Edwin Rodriguez in a 5-4 win over the Stars. Edmonton's won 5 in a row. They beat Carolina 6-1. Vegas got revenge on St. Louis, who beat them in Vegas. So they went to St. Louis and returned the favor 6-3. And as we approach 8 minutes before the hour, that was
That was the starting five every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
You Tiger fans didn't think you were like re-signing Rodriguez, did you?
No. David, I saw that he signed. I went, oh, Arizona. I thought he didn't want to go west.
Right.
Never thought the Tigers were re-signing him.
I thought there was a chance. I didn't think it would happen, but I just thought that given the way things went down, I thought there might have been a little weight to what they were saying and the PR cover-up of, oh, he might want to stay. He likes Detroit. I was like 20% there. How's that?
He signed a 5-year deal 3 years ago, but opted out of the final 2 years and signed for $4 and $80 in Arizona. So there. So some movement yesterday, finally, in Major League Baseball. Soto traded. One of probably the 3 best arms on the market, Rodriguez. He signs for 20 per. Okay. All right. Now we're matriculating a little bit. We're getting some stuff done.
But most don't expect much else to happen until Ohtani signs and then the other Japanese pitcher gets signed. Those are the 2 big dominoes that need to fall before the other free agents start rolling along.
Bob Nightingale, USA Today, had a story yesterday in which he said the Cubs and Giants were basically out of the Ohtani sweepstakes. The GM of the Cubs saw Nightingale walking through the lobby and verbally eviscerates him in front of like 30 members of the media. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You suck. No, you suck. You suck more, and your story's wrong.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Well, good morning, Coach Grizzle. This is early for you. So KW, are you okay with McCarthy on the sidelines then? You think, you're okay the next day? I'm just worried about him getting hit. So what computer is it? Is it the one you're on?
Yes. Ryan, that was remotely funny, by the way. When you put the Gundy, when you tell the Gundy story, he said he's tired of the coach banging his mom.
It's funny. I thought he was talking about Zach Wilson. Hello.
You think there's a section of the Cowboys fan base that was hoping that McCarthy won't be there?
Not now.
I don't
Not
know.
The way they're playing. Not the way that offense is going now.
Yeah. When do you think? Do you think Dan Quinn gets another head coaching job?
Yeah, I think it'll be in Dallas. But
well, I guess that's because last year that was the thing, right? I mean, that's what people were saying.
Here's the thing, though. Dan probably could have had the Carolina job, and Dan's now at the point in which he's not just because Jerry pays. Okay, Dan's making good money to be a coordinator. Dan's one of the highest paid coordinators in the NFL. So Dan can pick his next spot. I mean, let's face it. Everybody wants the Chargers job. Now, see, Grizzle, you're just still upset about the Falcons in the Super Bowl. When really Kyle Shanahan deserves the blame for losing that game. And he gets a pass. There you go. Buffalo, the Chargers. I found that Pittsburgh Post-Gazette column, though, fascinating, in which he just said, listen, his first 5 years, he was amazing. His last 12, when he said he's a cross between Marvin Lewis and Marty Schottenheimer. Let me tell you, Mike Tomlin in L.A. with the Chargers. Ooh. May not let him pick his offensive coordinator, but otherwise. Are we doing top 4 reasons now?
Sure. It's 4 things to watch for, but
gotcha.
I like
it. Sell it. Sell it.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Thursday, December 7th. Historic day in our nation's history. Miller and Moulton. Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Roy Cummings in 35 minutes. I don't know if we can pry him away from his beloved Cubs and their pursuit of Ohtani. Is he even following the Tampa Bay Bucs, or do you think he's just got nothing but Ohtani on the brain?
There's definitely some Ohtani on the brain, but because there's nothing to report on Ohtani, because you can't, I think he's able to at least focus in on the Bucs a little bit.
Well, come on, the Bucs are playing for first place.
Right. I mean, it's for
Sell it, Trent. Sell it.
A first place battle
Yeah.
in the NFC South.
Yeah.
Bucs, Falcons. One of them has to win. Really?
1 o'clock on Fox because we legally have to.
And you're legally obligated to watch because it's the National Football League.
Right. What else you got going on? So Roy Cummings in about 35 minutes time. Then we'll talk a little Juan Soto. We'll go off the beaten path for a few minutes. And then Dr. Roto will join us in about an hour and a half to answer your fantasy football questions.
So Eric Edholm is a writer, reporter for NFL.com. And he was given the task of doing the game preview article for Patriots Steelers.
Wow. You have to contemplate resigning, don't you?
I don't know. He got the article done. What I think is even tougher is to write the headline for the article, David. And they simply just have 4 things to watch for in Patriots Steelers.
Is number 1 a first down?
Number 1, David, is Mitch Trubisky.
You got to come up with a drinking game for that one. Anytime Trubisky throws it away.
Would the drinking game tonight be punts? Because, I mean, we can't do incompletions. I mean, would it be punts? What's the drinking game tonight?
1-yard runs.
Ooh. 0 or negative yard plays?
Negative plays and punts.
Oh, no, you can't do both. I mean, that's just...
No, sip a beer for every negative play.
Negative or 0.
And finish the glass for a punt. Can you make it to halftime?
No.
Finish the glass for a punt. Mark, we could have 15 of those suckers today.
Number 2, David. This is what to watch for. Patriots must find a way to generate offense. I have a feeling we're going to be watching for a long time to see that happen.
Okay. To remind you, the Patriots are the first team in 85 years. 85 years, 1938. This is before. Anyway, they've given up 10 points or less in 3 consecutive games. They've lost all 3.
Now, number 3 and number 4 actually are the reasons I guess you would watch. Pittsburgh's defense.
Hey!
What year was it?
And finally, number 4, can New England's defense keep this game close?
Well, of course they can keep it close.
They've kept the last 3 close.
Yeah. To review, the Patriots in their last 3 games have scored 6, 7, and 0. That's 13 points in 3 games. Have to admit, it makes, the Dolphins' performance giving up 17 look as if they were horrendous that day. Just horrendous. They've lost 10-6 to the Colts in Germany. Boy, we made them watch that game. Boy, oh boy.
They sold it out, too.
I know. They lost 10-7 to the Giants and 6-0 to the Chargers.
I can come up with 4 better reasons to watch the game than what Eric gave us. 1 is gambling. That is the main reason to watch this game, is to bet money on it.
For the record, the Patriots' last 3 games, total points scored in 3 complete games is 39. 10-6, 10-7, 6-0. 39 total points between the Patriots and their opponents in the last 3 games. What's the over-under tonight?
30.5.
Yeah, you got to go hard on the under tonight.
Hey, how about this for you? The Hard Rock app, for those who responsibly bet there, they're running a boost where the under 30.5 is plus 110. It's regularly minus 115. They're running a boost on it. So you can get the under 30.5 that David's talking about for plus 110 on the Hard Rock Bet app.
My
Love
favorite
half, by the way.
My favorite bet on this game, however, is if you can bet both quarterbacks throw a touchdown. It's plus 1750.
I just hope both teams score a touchdown. All right, my money. Would you place that bet? Do you think that's going to happen?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't know if there'll be 2 touchdowns in this game, David. If the bet were just 2 touchdowns in the game, if the over-under on touchdowns was at 1.5, would you bet the over?
How about this? How about if it's at 2.5?
I wouldn't bet the over.
Okay. All right. But I do love the half tonight, 30.5. If you're going under, because, 17-13 is an under. 17-13 will feel like an offensive explosion. But this is where, special teams play, a defensive score, something like that. But there you have it. So did you give us 4?
I did.
Trubisky.
Trubisky is 1.
The Steelers' defense was 1.
The Patriots' offense. The Patriots finding a way to generate offense is 1, and then both defenses. Mitchell Trubisky is they put the number one thing to watch is Mitchell Trubisky. How can Al Michaels is more of a reason to watch than Mitchell Trubisky.
Bailey Zappi is more of a reason to watch than Mitchell Trubisky. We don't know if Bailey Zappi can play or not. We don't think he can.
He can't play. Bailey Zappi can't play. If he could play, he would have been starting earlier than this. He's had opportunities. He's no good. Well, and against this defense,
it's more of an indictment on Mac Jones. Because remember that game in London or was it in Germany? I don't remember.
Germany.
Where they threw him in for the potential game-winning drive, just cold, because Mac was that bad.
The Patriots have the 2nd pick of the draft. This is Tom Landry. If you're old enough to remember, this is Tom Landry. This is what we're watching here.
And David, how can you let Belichick make that pick? I'm not kidding around here. How can you trust Bill Belichick to do the right thing with the 2nd pick?
No.
I'm serious.
No, there's no way. I mean, it's a nice line for a sports talk show host to have, but Bill Belichick, the general manager, is getting Bill Belichick, the coach, fired. And, if after nearly 25 years, if Bill can't work with someone instead of being the authority in an organization, because you could see where Kraft would be like, Bill, I got to take personnel away from you. And if Bill looks at him like, yeah, I don't think so. Well, then I don't think Kraft is a choice. And I'll also be honest with you. If you're Kraft, do you just think, you know what? It's time. It was a hell of a run. All right. Yeah, didn't end well. But you know what? Historic run. You're a legend. All right. Don't worry about it. I'll pay you. Which apparently Kraft doesn't want to do. Kraft wants somebody to take Belichick off their hands. But then also supposedly he wants like compensation. It's like, no, Bob, we're taking the money off your hands. We ain't giving you a draft pick. He's like, no, he's my coach. You got to give me a draft pick. Huh. What would you give up for Belichick?
If you're the Chargers, let's get right to it. If you're the Chargers, what would you give up for Belichick?
I'd give up a 2nd-round pick for Belichick. Because you know what needs fixing in L.A.?
The head coach.
The defense, though.
Right.
Which he's responsible for. Belichick would fix the defense.
Quickly.
Yeah, right away.
You have to go offense, though, for Herbert.
No.
He hasn't had a good chance to grow under an offensive coach. I mean, Anthony Lynn, very average. That's just me, because I think Herbert's plateauing, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, but part of that's on Herbert. I mean, it's not like he doesn't have weapons.
I mean, they lose Williams this year and everything crumbles. One guy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not necessarily excusing it. I just think maybe if you get an offensive mind to help unlock
Defense-
Herbert's next.
No, what's hurt the Chargers is defense. They had a 4-touchdown lead at the half against Jacksonville. Why'd they lose the game? Staley's defense. Why are they losing the games this year? In most cases, it's Staley's defense.
That's where all their money's going too.
Herbert's walked off the field 3 times with the lead and they've lost. It's on Staley.
6-0 last weekend.
I know.
Ooh. Your defense shuts them out. You can only put up 6 points. Mark's glad he got that divorce when he did.
Of course, they win the first week after.
Well, that's kind of how it goes, but you're playing the long game.
Exactly. I know I'd take him back in a second, too. Once they get a new coach.
If they trade for Belichick, are you taking him back?
Yes. Yes, I am.
So you didn't divorce him. You're just separated.
We're living apart right now. We're trying to work things out, David.
You love her so.
I do.
Is it the uniforms? Is it the helmet? Is it you've got memories of Fouts and Joyner and Winslow in your head?
Think that's what it is.
Golly.
Where's Jefferson at, David?
I love John Jefferson.
How could you not?
Loved them in both San Diego and Green Bay. Him and Lofton in Green Bay for a couple of years were fun. Hell, they made Lynn Dickey look good. That's how good they were. Miller and Moulton. The play of the days coming up.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Bill Belichick drafted N'Keal Harry in the first round in 2019. I forget which receivers went after him that year, but I know it was a handful of really, really good ones. I'm looking that up right now.
I did not know this, but I'm reading Seth MacFarlane's tribute to Norman Lear here on Twitter.
Okay.
He flew 52 combat missions in the Air Force in World War II.
And yet still kept a sense of humor.
MacFarlane says, I asked him one time to tell me about his experiences in the war and what it was like to fly consecutive missions with such frequency. He said the worst days when he didn't really know the rest of the guys in his crew. Only a born comedy writer could risk his life to help smash Hitler's regime, and then say the toughest part was social anxiety.
Here are some of the receivers that went after N'Keal Harry in 2019. A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Deontay Johnson. I mean, Bill, all those guys were on the board, and Bill said, let me have N'Keal Harry. Is he even still in the league?
I thought so. I thought
recently. Okay, the Vikings.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought I did a game recently that he was there.
There's a $44 million lottery ticket that's about to expire.
Golly.
Bought in Orlando. It expires on the 11th.
That's
sad. It's sad. It's probably someone that doesn't know what they're doing.
Someone doesn't. Yeah, they threw it away. They lost it.
I don't know why it should ever expire, by the way. If gift cards are good forever, why can't a lottery ticket be?
Because then they get that money back. They don't have to dish out that money.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I don't.
It's illegal, David. I'm with you.
It should be illegal. I mean, the state can still, if nobody's claiming it, they can use that money to make more money with. I mean, if I was the state, I'd want somebody to go 3 years before they claim it. Yeah, KW, my grandfather one time, talked to me about the war. I got him to really talk. We went to dinner one time, had a long dinner. I got him to talk one time.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Roy Cummings to talk Tampa Bay Bucs in a little more than 15 minutes. Scott Reinen to talk the Yankees' big acquisition of Juan Soto. An old friend of the show, Kurt Becker, will join us. And you'll want to be listening in an hour as to why. And next hour, get ready. Get your questions. Fire them away. For Dr. Roto Fantasy Football, about an hour and 15 minutes from now. Trent Bally in the play of the day coming up in a handful of moments.
21,000 is the text line if you want to chime in on the show, or you can always join us at twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton.
A friendly suggestion came in during the commercial break. That if Bill were to go somewhere else and he needed an offensive coordinator, do you think he goes back to the Josh McDaniels role? He's not bad as an OC, a disaster as an HC. I mean, Nick's Mr. Lifeline in college football. You fail somewhere, you fall all over yourself. Nick goes, oh, you want to be an intern, an analyst, or do you want to be a coach? What do you want to be? Here's a crimson golf shirt. Welcome to the team. You know, I mean, Belichick could do the same thing. You could look right at him. You're going to give up these head coaching ambitions? You're obviously not very good at it, okay? Now let's go.
Take Bill and Josh in L.A. with the Chargers.
I think the league would be okay with that. So just an idea. Second pick of the draft for the Patriots. Second pick of the draft. I mean, for goodness sakes, 4 years ago, they had Brady. I mean, yeah, like 5 years ago, they won the Super Bowl. Second pick of the draft. This is Tom Landry. For those that weren't old enough to see the end for Landry, it happened suddenly. The Cowboys had a 25-plus year run of winning seasons, making the playoffs, the whole deal. They're 6-2 midway through the 86 season. They lose 7 of their last 8. They go 5-11, 3-13. And then Jerry buys the team and sends Tom out to pasture. You know, Shula left on a 9-7 season. They went to the playoffs. You know, there's this misnomer that, you know, this is Don Shula. No, Shula, the GM. It was the first few years of free agency in the NFL, and he put the Dolphins in a really bad cap situation. He didn't know how to do the contracts. He was generous. He gave guys really big deals. And Jimmy had to come in and go, oh, blank, we're in trouble. Okay. And the team by the end was a little old. But Don was still winning games. This is Landry, is what this is.
It is. And that's the other I mean, to watch for, because we talked about this a little bit earlier in the week. That's the elephant in the room for the broadcast tonight. Do they bring up?
Well, how do you not? How do you not? How do you not?
Can't pull up the playoff standings and talk about how they're in the hunt. They can't do that. So
they can with Pittsburgh.
They can. Here's what I'm going to be really interested to see, and I kind of want this as a chaotic radio producer. I want the Patriots to end up with the second pick because Williams is going number 1, obviously, right? So what would Bill do with that second pick?
Who's the best defensive player on the board?
The season ended today.
Well, here's the funny thing. Bill, who can't pick a wide receiver, do you go, come on now, you got to go Harrison's kid here. Come on now. You know, got to go Harrison's kid.
If I was Marvin Harrison Jr., I'd be like, yeah, I'm staying for one more year.
What's the NIL going to pay around
here?
I
want to beat Michigan. I'll stay for one more year.
Here's another thing is, when's the next time the Patriots are going to get a primetime game?
Because this will be their out of it with the Chiefs.
Well, right now, that's why I brought it up, Trent. Yeah, okay, yeah. They were supposed to be back-to-back primetime games. Okay, but ABC, ESPN, Monday Night Football flexed out of the Chiefs-Patriots game. So I don't think they're involved in a primetime game the rest of this year. So you're doing the schedule for next year. I mean, how many times you putting the Patriots in primetime next year? Do they get the Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars treatment of 5 years ago?
That's what they'd get. It'll be a Patriots-Dolphins.
Thursday night game on Amazon?
Yeah.
Al Michaels gets to call another
early
Patriots
season.
Game.
Right.
Get it out of the way in September.
That's the other thing that I think tonight is kind of like, this is the end of us getting the Patriots in primetime. Because even after Brady left, the Patriots are getting 4 or 5 primetime games a year.
Well, the spin zone is if they get Williams, they'll have primetime games.
I
mean,
we'll
at least one.
Really?
I think if they have the number 1 pick, yeah.
How many primetime games Carolina get this year? How many How many Houston primetime games this year?
The Caleb Williams hype, though. Don't you think that would be good enough for one legitimate?
No. Everybody gets one.
Right.
Everybody in the league gets a primetime game or Thanksgiving assignment. Okay. But I mean, they could go 2-15. This could
They
be
could send them to Dallas for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But I mean, this could be the end of us like seeing the Patriots, if you know what I mean. We may go a couple years now where we lose touch with this team unless you're.
And on behalf of every football fan base in the nation, not New England, thank you.
Yeah, for someone my age, that's all I know. All I know is the Patriots on national television 4 times a year, at least.
Than that. Yeah. So that's another thing tonight. Just take a moment and go, wow, 20 years, Patriots in prime time.
4 or 5 times a year, guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed. We're not going to see this anymore. Never mind all the 425 games. I mean, there's a whole generation of Patriot fans that go, what is with this Sunday 1 o'clock crap?
What do you mean I have to watch the Dolphins?
Why are we always playing Sunday at 1? What is that all about?
Time now for our play of the day. Trent, what do you have for us?
I know these NBA picks for this segment don't always go over swimmingly in our Twitch chat room, but we have to go to Atlanta, where the Hawks and Nets were nip and tuck late, and the Stars came out.
20 seconds. 18. Trey. Step back for the lead. It's good! 3-pointer for Trey Young. What a shot. Hawks 113. Brooklyn 112. 10 seconds left. Bridges puts it up. Hits it with 4.5.
Mikal Bridges gets to his spot right after Ice Trey Young. Hits the 3. Bridge may be icy. I tried to find a clever way to put those two things together because, Mikal Bridges, Ice Trey, whatever. Nets win 114-113, move to 11-9. They're 9th in the Eastern Conference.
43 lead changes in that game last night.
There you go.
43 lead changes.
And I mocked that game last night when David was like, why are they putting Spurs Timberwolves on national TV? And I said, well, the alternative is Nets Hawks. That would have been a good option.
Would have been a really good option.
Last thing you want to see is Trey Young, who rimmed out the game winner 4.5 seconds later, by the way.
Yes. Mikal Bridges had 32 points in that game. Trey Young had 30. So a good showing. And that's your play of the day from the association.
And as has been pointed out, and we discussed last hour, Caitlin Clark got her 3,000th point last night. Only player, male or female, that had 3,000 points, 750 rebounds, 750 assists. That's not bad.
No, and she's the fastest female college basketball player to get to 3,000 points in the fewest number of games. I think she did in 110 games. Miller and Moulton. Roy Cummings talking Bucs next.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
We'll say ambient part of it, though, also is what we can get our hands on material-wise, what we're allowed to run. But
and it's not that easy to get sound.
No.
That's the one, that's why I end up with a lot of TV stuff. It's just not.
In the situation we're in, because they won't give us access to the sound that they can get a hold of. So, it's the cooperation that's really made this relationship work so well. It's their equipment and their cooperation and support.
This is not going to lie. You're a really good producer outside of the play of the day. Yeah, the one thing, the one
Exactly.
The one segment.
The one segment you produce. Other than that, man, you're killing it.
Felipe did bring the energy, though. He probably would have had Caitlin Clark's 3,000th point last night. That's probably what he would have brought. Which probably was more worthy.
Got it. My buddy's a big Iowa guy. That's all he talks about. Doesn't even bring up the football program anymore. He doesn't even.
I wouldn't either.
Just talks her?
Yeah.
Cool.
He was all fired up. Went to all the games here.
It'll be interesting to see when she goes to the WNBA if she brings eyeballs with her.
That I'm interested in. I really am, David.
Top of the morning to you.
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
Good, Roy. How are you?
No complaints. All good.
Got the holiday all set up?
Yes. Just finished setting up last night, so to speak. Finished with all the decorations and everything.
People
We are
coming
in
to
good
you?
shape here.
You going somewhere? People coming to you?
Going down to Sarasota to see my in-laws. Spend the day with them. Family all gathers there. How about you guys?
I'm going to Pittsburgh. Really excited about it too, Roy.
Oh, yeah. I'll bet you are.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exciting. I've done that before.
No say-so in it either. My wife just told me, matter of factly, we're going to Pittsburgh for Christmas this year. It wasn't like, do you want to go? What do you think about going? It was, we're going to Pittsburgh for Christmas this year.
No discussion,
None.
no vote, no nothing.
None.
That's it.
Buy the tickets.
Dictatorship.
He responded by saying, fine, I'm going golfing tomorrow.
Right, yes. We've all been there.
I'm going to I got to go to San Francisco for Monday Night Football.
Someone did point out, too, the Patriots and Broncos play on Christmas Eve. It's a national broadcast, for the record.
Wait a minute. Who plays on Christmas Eve?
Wait, that's a Sunday.
Well, it is a Sunday. But, look, we could debate this anytime if you'd like to do an extra segment sometime. I am a firm believer, strong, always have been believer, the NFL should shut down completely for the week of Christmas. No games. None. Zero.
Well, they've talked about giving teams a second bye, so that wouldn't be a bad idea. Just shut everything down. Everyone gets a bye.
I always thought that was a great idea. Here's the reason. One of the biggest reasons, in my opinion. Just before the playoffs, everybody needs a break. Let some teams get healthy. And primary reasons, let people enjoy Christmas or whatever holiday they celebrate at that time. Hanukkah, take your pick. Take that week off. The NFL doesn't have to play on, especially if it's going to run on a Sunday.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Joined at this day and time always by Roy Cummings. He covers the Bucs. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at rcummingsfhcn, rcummingsfhcn. Roy, we joked earlier in the show about whether or not you're even paying attention to the Bucs this week, or are you just sitting around staring at MLB Network waiting for your Cubs to sign Ohtani? I mean, are you getting anything done this week?
You know, I did remember that that I had this segment this morning. So, yeah, I went back and did some research on the Bucs. Word is they're playing a game Sunday against Atlanta. I think it's in Atlanta, and I heard something about it could be a big game, but it ain't as big as Juan Soto going to the Yankees. It ain't as big as Shohei Ohtani down in Dunedin for a day.
Mark, here's our MLB Network correspondent, Roy Cummings.
I'm switching gears because I think I'd rather talk about this than the Bucs right now.
Of course, wouldn't you?
Where do you think, David and I thought Seattle for Ohtani. That doesn't look like it's going to be the case. That was our hunch. That was probably a year ago. We thought that's where he was going. Where did you think he was going to go? Where do you think he ends up now?
Well, don't give up on the Seattle thing, because I heard yesterday that there is a team that has not yet been identified that could be in the mix. And it could be him. So it could be Seattle. But look, as much as I'd love him to go to the Cubs, I don't think that happens. I think it's still the Dodgers or the Angels.
And we've had some problems technologically with the show today, Roy. So you and I are fine, but right now Mark
is frozen in time.
Yes, but then again, I don't know if we're going over the air or if only Mark's going over the air. So this is
that's great.
This happened about an hour ago, unfortunately. How about if you and I continue the conversation?
Sure, let's do it.
I feel as if this is the season for the Bucs. All right, that if they win, they're tied for first. And they're in a position where their division record is as good or better than anybody else's. You know, we said this a couple of weeks ago. If they win their 4 division games,
or not tonight. Sorry, Sunday. Are they back?
They're back. Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Which is funny because where we're sitting, you're back.
I understand that.
While you were gone, Ohtani signed with Seattle. You were on it months ago, and nobody paid attention to you. Now they will.
We each, by the way, in our glorious, and I say that tongue-in-cheek, 17-year history, Mark 2 years in advance predicted LeBron to the Heat, and I called Brady to the Bucs, all right, while he was still a Patriot.
Good for
you.
Right?
So those are our two big claims to fame about making predictions.
That's outstanding.
Over the years. Mark, I was throwing it in underhanded to Roy and saying, I really believe that this is the season for Tampa Bay. They win, they're tied for first. They'd have a good division record. They lose, they're 2 games back. They've been swept by the Falcons, and we might as well start prepping for the draft.
Yeah, I think that I can't disagree, but I will say this. Okay, it's quite a task for this team, apparently, especially the way they've played recently. If they lose, it would seem like that's it. But I have felt all along, talk about predictions, I have felt all along this season that 8-9 is the tops in this division at the end of the day. And I still think the Bucs, even if they lose, can get to 8-9. Okay, they've got it. They got Green Bay, which is going to be tough, obviously, but Green Bay is beatable. They've had a couple of good weeks. They figured some things out offensively, or it seems they have. But I still think they can get to 8-9. And if they can get to 8-9, and have the tiebreaker because maybe someone else is at 8-9, whether it's Atlanta or New Orleans. We'll see. I think they can still win the division, but bottom line, 8-9 wins this division, and I think the Bucs have a shot at it. But yes, makes it a lot easier if you win this week.
Well, and they've got to figure out a way to score some points. And I guess the good news is Atlanta can't score much either. But without Mike Evans, there's nothing on this offense right now, Roy. They've been able, White's done a little bit here and there, but really this offense is Baker throwing the ball to Mike Evans and hoping something good happens.
Yeah, the real unfortunate thing about this season is the fact that Dave Canales never really got the opportunity to put in his offense the way he wants it to be. This is a guy who really leans on the run. And the Bucs just have never been able to establish a sound running attack that can be the foundation of their, offensive attack each Sunday. That's how it's supposed to be. And I think they originally were hoping that, Rachaad White would get 25, 28 carries a game, and you'd bring in some other guys to get 10 or 12 carries a game and just give him a blow here and there. It didn't happen. And unfortunately, Baker Mayfield's had to throw 500 passes, and, it is what it is. So that's one of the biggest reasons why they are where they are. But the defense, as we all have talked about so many times, has really been a disappointment too. Look, this has become a team. It's like, the Bucs are a little bit like an NBA team. Not a good one either, obviously. They've got a couple of stars, They got Baker Mayfield, obviously. They got, Antoine Winfield.
Mike Evans.
Yes, you've got that. But as a collective team, they're not that good. It's unfortunate.
Where would they be without Evans? And quite frankly, picture this team going forward without him, which is a very real possibility. I mean, Roy, if Mike Evans got hurt and couldn't play this week, you'd give the Bucs no chance in this game. I mean, he seems to be a disproportionately huge part of this team, which then begs the question, A, why didn't you sign him? Or B, what the heck are you going to do beginning next year?
Yeah, I think if you let Mike Evans go, if you do not re-sign Mike Evans, to me, that's a sign that you have decided you're going to rebuild around a new quarterback as well. I think if Mike Evans doesn't come back, then Baker Mayfield doesn't come back either. And I think you just decide, okay, we're tearing it apart. New coach, new approach, new personnel, and it's going to be a 3-year plan before we get there. We'll do what we can through the draft. We'll find a couple of free agents to keep us going, but we're looking at 25, 26 before we looking at those drafts and saying, okay, that's where we're going to make our money and build this team again. But I still think this team is capable. I still think it can find its way. It's just got to get a little bit stronger in the trenches.
Do you think they'll re-sign? Do you think Mike Evans will re-sign with them, Roy?
Yeah, I do. I think at the end of the day, the Bucs will re-sign him. And I think number one, he wants to be here. He wants to finish his career with the Buccaneers. He knows, well, he doesn't know, but he feels he's headed to the Hall of Fame. I think he has a lot of pride in being with this organization from the beginning to the end. I think it's how he wants it to go. And I think he knows that who doesn't matter who the quarterback is that you bring in, he will make them somewhat successful. Go back to Jameis Winston. I mean, everything Jameis Winston did really well was done primarily because he had Mike Evans. And, we're understanding that now. Again, you said it. Where would they be without him right now? Where would they be? Where would Baker Mayfield? Would Baker Mayfield be as successful? No, not even close.
They have a better connection than he had with Brady.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, they have that Baker will hold on to it. And Evans likes to run a little longer route than what Brady liked. Tom wanted to get rid of the ball. Nobody get near him. Baker's willing to take a hit. Baker's willing to hold on to it a little longer, and Evans needs the extra stride or two for his routes. It's kind of like what was going on with the Raiders with Devontae. Garoppolo is back foot hits the ground, he throws it.
Yeah.
Well, Devontae likes to run longer routes. Rodgers would hold on to the ball, let him run the route, and then give it to him. I think Baker and Evans have a great connection.
I do too, and I think the Bucs realize that, and it's the reason I think that they're going to re-sign both and work really hard to re-sign both. Again, I think Baker Mayfield feels really good about being in Tampa. I think he's confident about where they're headed. I think he likes the Dave Canales offensive approach. We've got to see what happens with the head coach, though. That's going to be a big part of it, guys. It's easy to sit here and say that you want to keep Mike Evans, you want to keep Baker Mayfield, and I agree. They should, because on the offensive side of the ball, that's it right now. You might have some potential elsewhere. But if they change out Todd Bowles and then you change out Dave Canales as well, and maybe what the Glazers will do is say, bring in a head coach who's young and say, okay, well, you can be the head coach, but Canales is going to be our coordinator. You can find a head coach that will agree to that. Probably wouldn't be hard, because I think there's a lot of people believe in Dave Canales, I think, going forward. So I think that could happen. But again, you've got to wait and see. At the end of the day, if they decide to let Todd Bowles go, again, as I said earlier, that could be the signal that they're just going to blow it up and start all over. But I don't know that I would do that.
What does Bowles have to do, in your estimation, to keep his job? To me, it would be win the division, because that's still 8-9, and that's not good enough to really compete in the NFC. I think we all agree if they get in, they're going to be a one-and-done team. But winning the division, you probably keep your job. Anything outside of that, to me, I think he's gone. What do you think, Roy?
There's one thing I know about the Glazers, guys. It's this: finish strong. They understand that you're going to have bumps along the road through the course of the season. But with a team like this, and we've seen many teams like this under the entire Bucs history, but especially with the Glazers, finish strong. Show me that the rest of the season isn't who we are. Show me who we are in the last 5-6 games. If they do that, if they win out, Todd Bowles is good. Even if they miss the playoffs, maybe, because of maybe a tiebreaker or something like that. But I do agree. I think if they win the division, he's probably good. But I think more than anything, guys, he's got to finish strong. He's got to win all but maybe one of these last couple of games here, and they've got to win them soundly. They've got to look like the team that everybody thought they could be when they started this venture this year.
Is the defense up to the task? They gave up 400 yards to Ritter on the road last time they played. That's like the only road game I think Ritter's won in his career. I mean, can the defense, can they stop the damn run and because they didn't last time? 400 yards to the Falcons.
Guys, I wish I had an answer for you. The answer is I don't know, because I don't trust the defense anymore. The reason I don't trust the defense is what you just said. They give it up against the run a lot. And I think one of the greatest fallacies that has been developed over the last couple of years about this defense is that they were so good against the run. Even when people were saying that, I wasn't necessarily buying it. And I wasn't buying it for this reason, and I've mentioned this before, so I hate to be redundant. But they were mentioning it because teams were usually behind. They knew they couldn't run the ball. They had to pass to catch up. And so the numbers against the run were minimal because teams didn't run against them, because they had to throw against them in order to beat them, because they had to play catch up all the time. And now that they don't have to play catch up, they can run a normal offense. They can balance it out, because they can get 8-9 yards on a run. They can get 12 yards on a run. They can average 4 yards a carry easily. And then they can throw the ball and do the same thing. So I don't know if the defense could hold up. If the Bucs get ahead, this is why this is really important. Get ahead. 7 points, 8 points, 10 points, take your pick. Doesn't matter. Get ahead by at least a score or two. If you do that and force the Falcons into passing the ball, you can win this game. But if you keep it close and allow the Falcons to run their offense, I think you're in trouble. Fourth quarter, you might end up losing it on a late field goal.
He's Roy Cummings. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at rcummingsfhcn, rcummingsfhcn. Next week, he'll be much more prepared, much more in-depth, because Ohtani will have signed and Bellinger will be with the Cubs. Okay, so he'll be in a great mood.
I would take that. It
Roy
is the
Cummings.
fallback position.
No doubt about it. Roy, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. All the best.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Roy
it.
Cummings joining us once again here on Miller and Moulton. It's the season. You win it, you're tied for first, and you're in position. You still got one more game in Carolina. You got the Saints at home. I mean, actually, you're thinking we're going to win this division. You lose, I think you're done.
I agree with you, David. I don't think you can lose both games to the Falcons and have a shot at the division. They'd be too far back. They're going to lose the tiebreakers in that case. So
Right.
I'm with you.
And if they lose this week, I think we have a new coach next year.
And I thought we were at the point of having a new coach this week when they were in jeopardy of losing to Carolina.
I agree with you. I think Mike Evans gave Todd Bowles a reprieve. We'll see how long that reprieve is for.
By the way, do you think Mike Evans is a Buck next year?
No, I do not. I think that he will get top dollar on a short-term deal and that he'll go somewhere to win. He'll look around and go, I love it here, but we ain't going to win.
Yeah, he'd look really good in Dallas.
Yes, he would. There's quite a few places he'd look really good in on a 2-3 year deal at 20 plus. Miller and Moulton. We'll talk Yankees and Juan Soto next.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Florida.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone, on 5th Avenue in Naples.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hey, Trent.
Yeah.
I believe our next guest, his last name is Reinen.
Reinen?
Okay. I believe it's Reinen. When you call him and get him on the show, just, say, Scott, we just want to make sure, okay, we pronounce your name properly. It's Reinen, correct? Okay. And if it's different, then obviously get the word to Mark or, put it in the Twitch chat room or something,
Yeah. Will
but,
do.
But I'm going to go with Reinen. Okay.
That
Based
is
on
what it
this.
looks like to me as well.
Yeah. Until told otherwise. Well, JB, that's why we were pounding the table for them to move Evans and Devin White when they didn't sign them before the season. Because we thought there was a chance that they would be just good enough with them to keep them
to be right where they are right now.
To keep them out of the top 5 and be in the second 5. And our thought was you either need to win or draft in the top 5. And we didn't think they could win
He's
this
on,
year.
and yes, it is Reinen.
It's Reinen.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And it's the third and final hour of Miller and Moulton along the network. The Diamond District bonus hour awaits at the top of the hour in about 15, 20 minutes. Start sending in your questions for Dr. Roto as he makes his weekly fantasy football house call. So just wait about 15, 20 minutes. We'll take all your questions on the text line in the Twitch chat room, get them all together. It's easier for us to do the segment. We really appreciate it. But the big sports story today, tough to pull off in December where it's not football, it's baseball. It's the Yankees acquiring Juan Soto from the Padres. They had to give up 5 players, 4 of them pitchers. Scott Reinen, all right, he covers the Yankees. He co-hosts the Bronx Pinstripe Show, a Yankees podcast. Follow Scott on Twitter at Scott Reinen, Reinen. Scott, it's David and Mark. Thanks for doing this. How are you?
I'm doing well, gentlemen. How are you? It's a good day in Yankee land, that's for sure.
Yes, it is. And let's just go. Where do you put him in the lineup? That's the first thing. Is he batting before Judge or is he batting after Judge in your estimation, Scott?
Well, I keep hearing that he has actually talked about that already, and it sounds like he's going to be hitting in the 3 spot. So 2, 3, if you have Judge, Soto. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me. It probably depends on who you're batting lineup or in the leadoff spot, so that you can get a good lefty-righty mix. I know that Boone enjoys doing that with his guys, and now he's got all the options with Soto as a lefty bat and Verdugo coming over as well. So I would expect him to be in the 3 spot, but not surprised if he's in the 2 spot.
All right, let's just talk about how much better do you believe the Yankees are today after acquiring Verdugo from the Red Sox a couple days ago and now Soto, a pair of left-hand hitting outfielders? We all know the Yankees needed to get younger, more athletic, and goodness knows some left-handed. They seem to have accomplished both.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I saw the Verdugo news come through, there was a little bit of a shell shock. I don't think many people expected, first the trade within the division with the Red Sox, but the way that the game is today with the expanded playoffs and the fact that you don't play your division opponents as many times anymore, I think it's not as big of a deal to trade inside the division. But when you look at Verdugo, the baseball player, he does fit what the Yankees need. He's a bat to ball guy. Doesn't strike out a lot, doesn't walk a lot, but doesn't strike out a lot, which is something that the Yankees absolutely need in their lineup. And then obviously Soto coming in is one of the top 3 premier bats in Major League Baseball. So it's only 1 year. There's a lot of people talking about giving up prospects for the 1 year of Soto not being worth it. I think it's 100% worth it. You need to maximize the years that you have right now with Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole, and bringing in a guy like Juan Soto on a contract year. Verdugo also on a contract year, adding that to Gleyber Torres, who also is going to be fighting for a contract. I like that a lot, and I like the fact that the Yankees are pushing it for 2024, and then we'll figure it out from there. But they are infinitely better today as they were. They need to still address some pitching, but their lineup is a lot more balanced. There's a lot more bat to ball, like I said, with Verdugo, but Juan Soto brings that as well. And, when making the playoffs last year, obviously they didn't, but their downfall actually has been the offense. They just haven't been able to produce runs. And when you have guys that are more prone to contact, bat to ball, going to give you an opportunity when you're facing the best pitching, which is usually the case in the playoffs, I like our chances a lot better. So, a very good day for the lineup.
Which player of the 5 dealt hurts the most, Scott?
It's definitely Michael King. What we saw at the end of last year with Michael King transitioning from the bullpen into a starter spot kind of opened your eyes. We all knew what he was as far as stuff, just pure stuff. But when you see it translated into a starter mentality, 5 innings plus, he's got dynamic stuff. I think the big thing with him is, can he sustain? Is there going to be issues down the road with his arm? He most likely will be on some type of an innings count, I would expect this year, because, he is getting back into being stretched out and being a full-time starter at this point. I wish him the absolute best, but he's definitely got the stuff to be towards the top of a 2 or a 3 at best, I think, with the Padres. So that one definitely hurts, and the Yankees definitely have to address the pitching after losing King, because they were slotting him in the rotation.
He's Scott Reinen. He co-hosts the Bronx Pinstripe Show. Follow Scott on Twix, Twitter/X, at Scott Reinen, Reinen. This organization, which has been amazing in putting bullpens together now for about 10 years and has had a lot of pitching depth, just lost 10 arms in 72 hours between 2 trades and the Rule 5 draft. How much do the Yankees now need to go and get pitching?
Yeah, I think when you look at what they're going to have to do, first of all, the Yankees have done a really, really good job, and I don't say that about a lot of things in the Yankees organization, but they have done a good job in scouting and identifying young, mostly right-handed pitching. There's a lot of guys in the organization who are, mid-90s to hard throwers that either slot in or are currently in a rotation spot that can fill into a bullpen spot, or at least come into that. And that's what you see Cashman. Cashman's been terrific at identifying talent in the bullpen, or using the people that he's around to identify talent in the bullpen, whether it's within the organization or not. But yeah, they're going to have to go after. Right now, when you're looking at Cortez as your number 3, Schmidt as your number 4, and I don't know, Clayton Beater maybe as your number 5. But that's not gonna do it. So they are going to have to go out and address the starting rotation on the major league level. And then I just expect them to to try to bolster the double and triple A starting rotation as well, because they're going to need some depth. Obviously, that's really what they've lost a lot of is that depth. I don't think they've, outside of Michael King and Thorpe. I know a lot of people are high on Thorpe, but the Yankees have been much better at developing bullpen arms than they have starting rotation arms. The last rotation arm that they fully developed into a starting pitcher, and unfortunately it was cut short due to injury, was Luis Severino. So you're looking at guys that fill in the back of the bullpen, but they do need to get some depth in AAA and most likely AA.
And it seems with all the pitchers dealt that they really are planning on getting Yamamoto, the Japanese pitcher, and will they get outbid for him, Scott?
I think Cohen seems like he's going in, hot and heavy and ready to, put that max bid in. So we'll see how the chips fall. But it seems like from everything that we're seeing and hearing that the Yankees and Hal Steinbrenner are going to be going after it with their best effort. And, they're definitely among the leaders to land him. So I expect them to put out a good contract. But, there's I think originally when we were talking about him getting posted, we were looking, around $200 million. And now there's, once Boris gets involved, I don't know if you saw the media swarm that was around him in Nashville, kind of a crazy scene to see that. But he's now we're hearing upwards of $300 million. So it seemingly is the highest bidder is going to win him, but the Yankees will definitely be in the mix.
Yeah, Steve Cohen and David Stearns both flew to Japan to meet with Yamamoto a couple days ago, so it shows how serious the Mets are, and we know how serious Cohen's bank account is if, in fact, he wants someone. All right. Orioles won 101. Rays won 99. Yankees won 82 last year. So they had Verdugo and Soto. Let's say they find a starter. Maybe not Yamamoto, but they find a starter. When you look at the Yankees, they had one more starter, 3-4 starter to the rotation. Where are they in relationship to the Orioles and Rays today?
Yeah, honestly, it's a tough one to estimate. The Orioles are so talented and young that I still got to put them at the top of the division. I think the Rays, they've had some off the field things happening there with Wander Franco, and but they continuously reload, and it seems like they've done that on the pitching side. So I never put them out of it. And then Toronto, if you're listening to all the whispers and what they're potentially looking to add with Ohtani, they're obviously an extremely talented team. So I think it's going to be a dogfight. I still think the Orioles are ahead of schedule. Last year we saw them they got seasoned last year. They had Kimbrel now to solidify the back of that bullpen, adding some veteran leadership. The guy who's won before. I still put them as the front runners there, and I expect them to go out and get more pitching to add to that young core of talent. And by the way, their minor league system is still chock full of talent with Holiday's kid down there as well. So I got to put them there, but I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be the Yankees still need a lot of things to go right. They still need guys to rebound. Rizzo, we got to make sure that he's okay from the concussion symptoms and he come out, because before the injury that we believe led to that, he was having an all-star year at first base. Giancarlo Stanton, who knows what to expect? In my estimation, you can't expect much from him. You go into the season and what you get from him, but you got to be prepared to fill in his spot if he's coming out there and swinging under the Mendoza line again, and not giving you much on the field as far as defensive play too. So I put them in the mix, but probably in the 2 or 3 spot right now. But if all things go well, they could certainly overtake the Orioles.
Scott Reinen, the Bronx Pinstripe Show. It's the Yankees podcast. Follow Scott on Twix, Twitter/X at Scott Reinen, Reinen. Scott, thanks for making time for us. All the best.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Scott Reinen joining us here on Miller and Moulton. You and I would have done it differently. Apparently, Soto's going to hit behind Judge. We would have done it the other way.
Yeah, I'd have the guy with the 421 career on base percentage batting ahead of the home run hitter. That's just me.
This way, Judge has got guys on base more often and
more fastballs
and guys pitching off the stretch also, as opposed to the windup. But I think Rizzo bounces back. He was actually having a good year before the freak concussion play and that left-handed bat. I think Stanton's the one you got to wonder about. He's got 4 years left at big money, and we don't know if he's done or not. Based on how he played last year, he's close to done. So is that just the worst year of his career and he's going to bounce back? Or are the Yankees going to have to eat about $100 million and move on from him?
And the Rays will trade 3 or 4 players and still win 90 games.
Exactly. They're going to trade Tyler Glass now and still have more than enough pitching.
Right.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
We'll switch from baseball to the horse track. Kurt Becker, he's next on Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for listening.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Okay, I'm just talking out loud here. And I don't trust our fearless leader, which unfortunately then puts it in your court. But, I mean, contractually, we provide them the show. They provide us a working studio. They're not holding up their end of the bargain. And so, I mean, they either A, have to do whatever it takes to provide us a working studio, or B, we're going to go out and buy what is necessary, and they're going to have to pay for it. I mean, it's contractually, it's in the contract. They have to provide us a working studio.
Right. And I'm just speaking out loud here too. And what they will say, and we know them, the studio works. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Not for our show. It doesn't. Their internet is not sufficient.
And it's not the internet, it's the computer.
Okay. So it needs to be replaced. But the thing also that I think you can say is, listen, we can get up and leave tomorrow because you are in violation of your contract. And we have somebody that wants us. I think that Chris will ignore us. AJ will ignore us. I actually think the hyper Yahoo will go and might, go to AJ and say, we got to get a computer that works. I mean, if we can't stay on the air, we can't stay on doing it this way. And I'm thinking more about the future. I mean, I don't want us, getting, we're going to pick up a new affiliate next month. We're probably going to pick up another affiliate in February. I mean, they'll drop us in a heartbeat if this shit continues. Pardon my French. I don't know if we can do Act 4.
Uh-oh.
We could do Act 3A, but we can't do Act 4. Oh, Jake, we can leave. It's the radio TV business. If you don't show up, you've left. And it's already in writing.
Man, when they start showing Mitchell Trubisky throws on TV.
Boy, they ruined him. He was actually doing okay in Chicago. If the double doink had gone in, I wonder how different his career might have been. Mark, do you do that, or does the computer just doing that automatically?
The computer just does that automatically.
Golly.
I have got, usually I have a lot of windows open because I have other things that I want to be able to reference. I have nothing open but this.
Right.
And the text line.
Trubisky.
I don't think it's close.
That's me, but
no, and I don't think it's close, David.
I mean, I don't think Zach Wilson can play.
We have Kurt, by the way. And here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Start sending in your questions, whether it be the text line, 21,000, or the Twitch chat room. Start sending in your questions. Dr. Roto will answer them. Your fantasy football questions and concerns coming up in a little more than 15 minutes' time. It's been too long. That's on us. He works for a couple networks. They both involve racing. The Horse Racing Radio Network and the Motor Racing Network, MRN. You can follow Kurt on Twix at Becker Trackside. Becker Trackside. See what he did there? Either track. Kurt, it's David and Mark. How you been?
Fellas, all is well. It's good to be back on the show with you.
All right. We called you for two reasons. We almost called you last week with the new NASCAR TV deal. We'll get to that in a minute. So they're moving the Belmont to Aqueduct? Have they ever moved a Triple Crown race before?
Well, the announcement came that the Belmont Stakes will be moved for 2024, and they're going to move it to Saratoga as part of a 4-day race weekend in June. So the Belmont is still going to run where it normally does on the calendar. June 8th, to be specific, is the actual date of the race. But the move to Saratoga you bring up a good point. A lot of people are having a meltdown over this, and not only is the race being relocated, and the reason, by the way, ongoing renovations at Belmont Park, and this is the justification for it is, look, if we can move that weekend somewhere else and allow the work crews to keep making progress on what will be a spectacular Belmont Park reopening in 2025. Okay, fine. So here's the other complaint. There are people saying, well, it won't be the same. It's going to be on a different racetrack. To answer your question, yes. How quickly folks forget or they don't know their history, even people in the sport don't seem to know this, but Belmont went through a renovation, and I think it came after a fire back in the early to mid 1960s. And you mentioned Aqueduct, and you're spot on. The Belmont ran at Aqueduct for about 5 straight years in the 60s. So here we've got it for 2024 going to Saratoga. The other thing is the distance. It's not going to be 1.5 miles. It's going to shorten to 1.25 miles. Reason being, the different circumference of the racetrack. You've got 1.5 mile track at Belmont Park, great 1.5 mile race, 1 lap around the track. Saratoga is 1.8 mile circumference racetrack. So to start 1.5 mile race, you would have to start the race in the middle of the far turn, and that's just not feasible. So that's why they're going to shorten the race to 1.25 miles. But it's going to be different, and it sparked a lot of debate about whether 2024 will be a true Triple Crown.
Well, the thing I'm seeing is they're changing with the distance. Kurt, you and David and I have talked about this for several years, that we don't think in today's world that the Triple Crown, the way they run horses, no one runs them in all 3 anymore. Could this lead to maybe spreading the race? If this is successful, could this lead to perhaps finally spreading out the Triple Crown the way a lot of us think it should be?
I think that is something that folks are going to watch within the industry. And I think that is possible. To me, the only one, and let's face it, we're really talking about whether or not the Preakness might move. We know the Derby's going to stay first Saturday in May, but you're right. Where could this potentially move the second leg and the third leg, the Belmont? Well, could they both end up shifting around to different spots on the calendar? I know one thing, a lot of, well, not a lot, but at least a few analysts in the industry yesterday were speculating this could definitely impact the Belmont Stakes, because what some folks think will happen, there may be, you just hit on it. Most horsemen, most horses just aren't programmed for 1.5 mile races, not in the U.S. on dirt anymore. So let's say that this race at 1.25 miles draws more horses, a bigger, a more full, a deeper field than what we normally see for the Belmont. There may be people, at least with the Belmont, come away and say, this isn't a bad thing. Maybe we ought to keep this race at 1.25 miles. But that's all up for debate, and who knows what might happen down the road.
By the way, 2025 is in question as well. Okay, they don't know that they're going to be ready at Belmont in 2025, and I'm told, Kurt, that it's going to be a new synthetic track. So that in and of itself will be interesting. It's Kurt Becker, Horse Racing Radio Network, also MRN. We discussed it briefly last week. The thoughts within the industry about the new 7-year big money, but no longer really on network TV, on a lot of cable and streaming deal within NASCAR. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways? What are people saying?
I think it's thumbs sideways right now. Reason I say that, it's tough for me to, and what you've got, you've got Fox and NBC back, but you've also got Amazon Prime coming into the equation. There's Warner Brothers Discovery coming in. TNT is involved. And there are something like 10 races, and this will start in 2025. There are something like 10 races that will move to streaming. Look, I'm old fashioned. Network TV is most readily accessible. I don't care what anybody says. You start taking races off network TV and especially moving to streaming. The thought is, well, we got to get more fans. We got to expand the sport, particularly young people. Young people love streaming. Amazon Prime, NFL Thursday night's been successful. Let's get in on that right now, because the way of particularly of cable TV, the thought is cable TV may soon become a thing of the past. Okay, fine. But the problem that I've got with it is I'm skeptical whether this is really a plan that might work, at least in the immediate near future. But yeah, you're right. I mean, hard to argue with the numbers. $7 billion over 7 years. My problem with it, fellas, not a dime of that goes to radio. I work in radio. We all work in radio. And you know what? If you can't find the race on streaming, come to radio. We'd love to have you in the audience.
Well, it's funny. You just said it, because network television does a hell of a lot better, and we're running short on time here, Kurt. But the MRN, you could actually benefit out of this and gain more listeners, because I don't know. You're trying to get young people. Young people got to pay for Amazon Prime. They don't have money to pay for Amazon Prime. There's a lot of this. I know there's a lot of money involved, but I don't know if it's a long-term gain for NASCAR or not, Kurt. I don't know. You seem to think the same thing. Yeah,
that's my concern, and you're absolutely right, guys. Look, radio is a fantastic medium, as we all know. That's why we love working in it. And you're right. I'm hoping. I want NASCAR to succeed, but I'm biased toward radio, so maybe some good will come from it in that regard.
Kurt Becker, Horse Racing Radio Network, and then MRN. And that's why he can go with the Twix label of Becker Trackside, because he's always at a track. So follow Kurt there at Becker Trackside. Kurt, hope you and the family are well. We know this time of the year can be difficult for you. Hope you have a good holiday season and look forward to talking to you early 2024.
Fellas, thank you so much. All the best to you as well, and we'll talk again soon.
Kurt Becker, Horse Racing Radio Network, and MRN. Follow him at Becker Trackside.
I love MRN. I'm the weirdo who doesn't really like NASCAR, but if I'm in the car on a long drive, I will lock into MRN all day long. I think it's the best produced radio in sports.
I was in my early 20s when I discovered it driving to Pocono Raceway one day. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what is this? And I'm with you. I'm like, I've never heard sports like this on the radio. This is amazing.
I don't find NASCAR to be exciting. Listen to it on radio. They sell it really, really well.
And nobody gets all the sponsors in like MRN and PRN, let me tell you.
Get your fantasy questions in, because that's what's next. The doctor makes his house call on Miller and Moulton. Dr. Roto, next.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Dewey, Sewell, and Howe. I like that, Jake. Dewey, Sewell, and Howe.
All this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other. with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging
Cheat 'em in
relationships
how.
and
Got 'em.
sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Do we treat them and how?
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Jake, I love Dewey Suem and how, but apparently it is Dewey Cheatham and how is the
Three Stooges law firm.
exactly. But Suem actually works too.
Just talk to Adam. Apparently, they're getting new computers for all the studios here in the coming months. So, and he's going to have Richard look at this computer right away.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, he's been, believe it or not, he's been great to me. He's always nice. He's always no, but I mean, no one else acts like I walk through the building and they could walk right past me.
No, I don't.
Adam is pleasant and nice every day.
Right, you've said that. No, he actually appreciates apparently what we're bringing to the cause.
Yeah, I mean, he's running all the stations now. He's the head, he's director of operations, so he doesn't want.
God knows no one else is appreciative of us, but I'm glad he is. Oh, Trent. Trent.
I know. That's
no, you don't know. This one you don't know. No, we could do a 4-hour show on the Miller and Moulton history with the building that you're in. We could.
I think it's funny.
4 full hours. We could go chronologically. We could go headlines. However you want to do it.
Headlines. That's a key part of this.
Yeah, we could
dead air. We just start with dead air, David.
Totally.
Headlines.
Biggest story to the smallest. We could go chronologically.
I've got to find the article that got David fired and give it to you, Trent, because I had already been fired.
Yes,
and David went scorched earth.
I did, but
he went George Costanza. He went.
Was it Everblades? Was that?
No. When I got fired from this place, when David and I were doing the show, they fired John, then they fired me.
Right.
And they did an article in the newspaper as to basically why they fired me, because the show was getting good ratings. It was popular. And they went to David, and David went Costanza. David said exactly what he felt.
Yes. And as we're doing the interview, I'm like, maybe I can get fired. Maybe if I do this right, I can get fired.
How did you guys end up back here then?
Well, we don't work for this company. We're just on the station.
We're a syndicated show, and they're just an
show. We work for
affiliate.
Florida Sports Network.
Right.
And
you just use the equipment.
And AJ, who's now running this place, actually likes both of us. The guy who was running the place hated me.
Well, and by the end, he hated me too.
So
mainly because I know when it happened too.
You guys are the Mike and the Mad Dog of Florida Talk Radio.
But listen, the only reason they brought us back is because after they got rid of us, they ran the damn station in the ground.
Into the ground.
And so
we were
now
across the street killing them with ratings on 2 tin cans.
Right. And so they brought us back, and you're not going to believe it, but the station's back. Unbelievable.
Yeah, afternoon show got the best ratings they've ever got. Wonder why. What did they change?
Huh.
Cheers to you guys.
Holy cow.
All right. Send in your fantasy stuff. Come on.
Open the floodgates. Here we go. I'm calling the doctor.
Well, we're going to start with the doctor on the couch. I just got a text from a listener who's like, can you ask Roto this? And he's basically like a patient. He's losing his mind. I feel bad. Sorry, Michael. I'm telling you, it wasn't the article, but as soon as I saw the headline, I knew I was fired. Okay. And Trent, the joke behind that was I wrote for that paper for years and hated the headlines that they wrote. Okay. And saw the headline of that story and said, now that's a good headline. And knew right away, I'm done.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
It is that time of the week where Dr. Roto makes his house call. Fantasy football questions, fire away. 21,000 on the text line. If you're taking us in via the Miller and Moulton Twitch channel, fire away in the Twitch chat room. Dr. Roto, he runs, wait for it, drroto.com, drroto.com. It's a fantastic fantasy site. He's hired a great staff. He's been running for 2-3 years now and making people a lot of money. So make sure you go to drroto.com, and you can follow him on Twitter/X at drroto, drroto as well. All right, Doc. Listen, you start off as a psychiatrist, if that's okay, this week. The law firm of Michael F. Hornung sponsors this segment, and someone very closely associated with the law firm has sent in the first question. Can you please ask the doctor, what do I do from jumping off a bridge? Because I put in 13 weeks of great work. I'm in second place in my league, and I have Christian Kirk and Trevor Lawrence. What do I do?
I know. I think I know who wrote that little note. And
he's very closely associated to the law firm of Michael F. Hornung.
Yeah, it's amazing how associated. But you get to this is why when we're at the summit, I always say never waste a pick. Right? You can never waste a draft pick because you never know when you're going to need one. That's why you have to have two quarterbacks. That's why you have to worry about your fifth receiver. Because if you don't have that second quarterback, if you don't have that fifth or sixth receiver, you run up against here you are in the pivotal week, and you have nobody, right? So I think luckily, though, there are some spots this week to take advantage of. So I'm in a league right now, a charity league, that I have Trevor Lawrence. And so what did I do? I picked up two guys. One I picked up was Aiden O'Connell. I know he doesn't sound glorious, but he's playing Minnesota. The way to beat Minnesota is through the air. Next week he plays the Chargers. The way to beat them is to just play football because the Chargers are not very good. So I liked him. I think Desmond Ridder this week is really good playing Tampa. You know that Tampa stops the run well, but they've had some issues with the pass. Maybe Ridder's mobility will help him this week. I also picked up Jameis Winston because I think Carr needs to be replaced right now. I don't think the team is playing at a high level with him. For better or worse, I'd like to see what Jameis does. But I think Jameis we can't trust as much. But if you're desperate for a quarterback, I think you can look at Jake Browning from Cincinnati. You can look at Aiden O'Connell from the Raiders. And you can look at Desmond Ridder from the Falcons.
Would you play Ridder over either Stafford or Geno Smith this week?
I think that Geno Smith is going to be a lot better this week. I think Seattle is more ready for this game. I think San Francisco is coming off a really big win last week. I think the Seahawks offensive line is playing better. So I think Geno's in play. I think Stafford's in big trouble, and I want no part of him in Baltimore. I don't want a part of anybody in Baltimore. They just play better there. So I think that game really scares me.
All right. Twitch chat room. Nick. He's in a half-point reception. He wants to start one of these three: Jordan Addison, Parker Washington, Alex Pierce.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a no-brainer. So you're starting Jordan Addison. So look, did anybody know who Parker Washington was last week? No, you didn't. I mean, I barely did. I got it in my dynasty leagues. Was still out there. Nobody even wanted him. This was just a pure depth guy. Alec Pierce is like empty calories. He's on the field for a lot of snaps, but he doesn't tend to do very much. Last week was the first week he's really done anything all season. Give me Jordan Addison. If you're worried about Justin Jefferson, don't. I think even with Jefferson on the field, Addison doesn't see double coverage. And Addison has been absolutely fantastic. Now, is there enough room for Dobbs to throw the ball to Addison and Hawkinson and Jefferson? I think so, because he just won't throw it to A.J. Osborne or Brandon Powell anymore. So I'm fine starting Addison there.
Which one of these three sit? Romeo Dobbs, Drake London, Gabe Davis.
Yeah, so you're not sitting Drake London. You're just not. I mean, he's in a really good spot against Tampa, and I like him. I think, if you have that Ritter-London combination in DFS, it's kind of interesting because it'll allow you to pay up for expensive guys. So it's one of my favorite cheap stacks that you can find. I want Gabe Davis. I do. In that kind of game with Kansas City, I want him there. Romeo Dobbs is fine, but for my money, I think Dontavian Wicks looks pretty darn good too, and Jaden Reed looks good. They all look good. I think Jordan Love is playing at a higher level, but London and Davis are just, to me, more certain.
Well, you mentioned Gabe Davis. He's in a question from Empire in a PPR flex. Do you go Gabe Davis, DeAndre Swift, Jacoby Myers?
Well, look, we don't know much about Swift right now. He took a big hit at the end of the game. Hasn't been playing as well recently. I think he's a man of concern for me right now. Would not shock me to see Kenny Gainwell get more action this week. So it's hard for me to push Swift on that. So look, I just think that the Buffalo Chiefs game can be very. I could see a pathway where it's low scoring because they run the ball, but that could end by halftime, right? It could be 17-13 by halftime and the game finishes 34-31. I think you just want every piece in this game that you could possibly have because we've talked about this with Davis before. When the Bills blow up and have a big game, he's a pile-on guy. Like if he's not the only Bill that'll do well. But if Diggs does well, it's usually Diggs and Davis, right? Or Kincaid and Davis, right? He's just a guy that you add on to the pile. And I think I want a piece of that pile this week.
RB2 question, Roshan Johnson or Zeke? Who are you starting?
Yeah, I think the answer is probably Zeke. Stevenson's not playing. The Patriots have literally nothing to play for. Probably give the ball to Zeke 20 times. Do you care if you run him into the ground? No, he's probably not going to be back next year. So I think this looks like a Zeke game to me. It's going to be a really bad game to watch. There's a lot of rough games this week, guys. I mean, Panthers, Saints, Jaguars, Browns, Patriots, Steelers. I mean, these games are in the low 30s with the total. So, I mean, that's really rough. But I do think Zeke probably gets about 15 points tonight.
RCB is in a PPR. He needs one of these three, Pierce, Chandler, or the Herbert, who's not the quarterback.
Well, is it Damian Pierce? Is it Khalil Herbert?
Khalil Herbert, yes.
I mean, look, I like Khalil Herbert. I think that he's in play at home against the Lions. I don't love him. I really like Justin Fields, and I like DJ Moore. Who are my other two choices in that one?
Pierce and Chandler.
All right, Chandler's unplayable. Sadly, he's unplayable. Dameon Pierce is interesting because when they're winning, they go to him. And so on drroto.com, every Sunday morning, if you join, you can be a member of our Discord chat where we talk about, I literally answer questions for an hour and a half for people before the games. And I said last week that I was worried about Devin Singletary because Pierce is back. Pierce is healthy. He is their lead guy. And when they're winning, they're going to give him the football. So I do think they're going to be winning against the Jets, and I think he's going to see a lot of the football. So especially, without Tank Dell, I think Pierce is firmly in play this week.
Tight end question, Goddard or Taysom Hill? Who are you playing?
I think the answer to that question is probably Taysom Hill. He just does too much. And I know he's hard to watch sometimes because sometimes he'll get you 2 points. But like last week, when they get in within the 5-yard line, he's in there.
Yep.
He's always in there. It's annoying. It's like that doesn't go away. You swat it, it doesn't go away, it comes back. And then it just, So I think, look, is Goddard okay? Sure. As a high scoring game, it is. How many snaps is Goddard going to get? Is he 100% healthy? What's it going to look like? Is he going to have to stay in and block a little bit against Dallas? I don't know those questions. I know that New Orleans should be able to put up, I would think, 3 touchdowns at least against Carolina. Why is Taysom Hill not getting at least one of them?
Well, and Baby Jules has a tight end question. Kmet or Taysom Hill?
Now, Kmet is interesting because Kmet is like Chris Carter. He only catches touchdowns, right? He doesn't get that many of them, but when the guy gets the football, he scores. And Detroit likes letting up some touchdowns to tight ends. I think Kmet is super sneaky this week, and I don't hate him. I think I like him in DFS too. I think this just feels like a week that Kmet can find the end zone.
I don't even want to ask this question because this person has 3 quarterbacks, and I'm against that whole proposition. But Purdy, Goff, or Love?
Yeah, I think it's Purdy. But look, I get it at this time of year. I don't like that strategy for almost all the year. But kind of like when you get into the week 14 and I play in high stakes leagues. And high stakes leagues, there's no pickups starting. This is the last week of moves. So next week, I lost $50,000 about 3 or 4 years ago. But I only had 2 quarterbacks and they both got hurt. So if you want to stash that 3rd quarterback this time of year, I get it. I don't love the move, but I understand the move because if you don't have a quarterback, you're not winning.
R. McDade wants to know Justin Herbert or Brock Purdy.
Yeah. Look, I like Herbert, but it's been rough, and the Broncos have played a lot better. And I want to talk about something with the Broncos. When you read their stats, like they're really bad against the run, well, that's because they played the game against Miami, where Miami is still, ran for like 1,000 yards. So it skews the stats. The Broncos defense has played a lot better. Justin Herbert and the Chargers have not played well. Austin Eckler looks like he's running in mud, right? Now, my worry about Purdy is that this could be a Christian McCaffrey week. And we can have one of those Brock Purdy 190 yards and 1 touchdown games. And if you get that game, you're probably not winning. I don't think you get that game with Justin Herbert. I think he goes for 240 and 2. I'm leaning Herbert, but it's really close.
Deontay Johnson or Jacoby Myers, half-point PPR?
Oh, man. That's a tough call for me. I think I like Jacoby Myers. I think I do. I just don't know what to expect from Pittsburgh tonight. I mean, maybe if Najee Harris is, I'll put it this way. If Najee Harris is out tonight, then I'll play Deontay Johnson for sure. But if Najee's playing and Warren's playing and they're going to run the ball, it's going to be a really, really rough game to watch tonight. So if Najee's out, Deontay's in. If not, I like Jacoby Myers just fine. And I think Aiden O'Connell has improved. He has gotten better. I like Devontae Adams this week. I like Josh Jacobs this week. And I like Jacoby Myers this week.
Brizzy B needs a flex. Cook, Ridley, or London?
Ridley is rough. It's not that I don't like Ridley, but he's playing the Browns and he's got C.J. Beathard. All right, issues. Cook, I can see a pathway here. I think the way to beat the Bills and Chiefs is to run the ball. But, the Bills have gotten a little silly there with Cook. They're using him more as a receiver, which is great. But they also bring in Ty Johnson. They also bring in Latin Murray. I like Drake London. I think this is a week where Ritter and London, I don't want to say go off, but can I see 5 for 80 for London? Sure. 13 points in a PPR. If he finds the end zone, give me 19. I'm all over it.
Kamara or Achane?
Look, I have a theory. It's called always Achane.
Go Raiders has a question. Do you like Josh Downs moving forward over Pickens, or is it week-to-week matchups that dictate it?
I think it is a week-to-week thing. So, look, he goes to him. Minshew's done a really good job. And I asked myself this question when I was watching with my son. I said, do you think they'd be as good with Richardson? And I love Anthony Richardson, but it's a different type of team, right? There's more running. There's more cheap passes. Minshew uses the field real well, right? So he's got the mobility, but he has absolutely shown that he's a starting quarterback in the NFL when Richardson comes back. I can't imagine that Minshew's not starting somewhere else next year. So he's used Downs. He's done a good job with that. But still, I think he is a week-to-week proposition. I don't think you can rely on him. You have Zach Moss, who, by the way, I think is going to have a much better week this week. If you want to make a crazy bet, I think I'd bet a Zach Moss 2-touchdown week. I like Michael Pittman to play well because he's always been good. So Downs takes a third seat there. So I think it is week-to-week.
Devontae Smith or Jordan Addison, Doc?
Devontae Smith. Give me every piece of that game that I can possibly find. I think the Eagles are going to play better than they did last week, which was really a strange game. And I think Dallas is coming to play. And they look strong right now. And Dak is playing as well as he has. You can't run on the Eagles. So Dak's going to throw. He's going to throw to Cooks. He's going to throw to Lamb. He's going to throw to Ferguson. It's going to be a great game.
Dr. Roto, drroto.com. Follow him on Twix at Dr. Roto, DRROTO. You can hear him Saturday mornings on SiriusXM's Fantasy Sports Radio. You got 10 seconds. Give a gift for the holidays to our listeners this weekend.
I gave you one. Zach Moss, 2 touchdowns. You know what? Let's go crazy. Bet both. Bet 1 touchdown and 2 touchdowns. And if you hit it, then you're my rich friend.
Doc, all the best. Thanks for your time.
You got it, guys. Talk to you next week.
Dr. Roto, drroto.com. It's a great site, not just football, if you are into fantasy. We got a blockbuster story, baby.
Call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Sports Network.
Are you there? This is ridiculous.
Luck was the last time it was this consensus of a number 1 overall pick. I mean, because you have your Trevor Lawrence's and Joe. And it's Caleb Williams and everybody else. And just to bring people up to speed, I mean, the Bears have a double shot. Now, they've started to win some games, so they're relying on the Panthers pick.
Well, they can rely on that because
yes, they can.
Because the Panthers will not that's how bad Tampa is, by the way. They were on the verge of beating the Bucs. Yep. And that's why, and I love Roy. Roy's been on this show forever, and I don't consider Roy a Bucs homer. I really don't. But Roy is the most optimistic person that's ever covered a team because he still digs in that this is a football team that can win games. And
you don't buy it.
No, I watched that game against Carolina. They damn near lost Carolina, and that is one of the worst rosters we've seen in the NFL in a long time. That is dreadful.
It ain't good. Here's the thing that's so interesting about Tampa is we're only 3 seasons removed from a Super Bowl, but the team is a completely different team. You have some of the same offensive talent, and then you have your Vita Vea and whatnot, and Todd Bowles, of course, was in the mix back then. But as a Tampa Bay Bucs fan, you've got to be livid with this situation right now because you're too good to be too bad. You're gonna end up
they're paying for their salary cap, Hello. That's the one part about this, Trent. When you look back at the moves they made and how much they mortgaged going forward to put themselves in a situation with Brady and bringing in Gronk and bringing in the players that they wanted, they put themselves in cap hell, and so they had to pay for it over a couple of years. I actually think you can turn this around a little more quickly, but part of that would be not winning this division. I think
the higher the pick, the better.
Yeah, if they win the division, we've already seen what happens when they play Dallas.
Yeah.
We've already seen what happens when they play Philadelphia. I mean, my goodness, they're not in the same class as these teams. And Detroit's not going to be a wild card team. If you win that division, you're going to be the 4. You're going to play Philadelphia or Dallas. They're going to get routed. And, Roy seems to think Mike Evans is going to stay. There's part of me that I don't think he'd take a discount, but they've got to spend their money somewhere.
Yep.
And I don't know how you could tell your fan base that we didn't make a full-on effort to keep our best player.
10 seasons with 1,000 yards. Is it 10?
Yeah.
Every year of his career.
Every year of his career, he's been a 1,000-yard receiver.
And no one else has more than 8 or something like that in NFL history. And we're talking Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, everybody. No one's even close.
So they've got to throw the bag at him. And I don't know. See, I don't think he'd take a hometown discount, but in order to keep him, they're going to have to pay him.
So let's play fantasy land here for a second, because this is a tall order. But say the Bucs end up in that top, call it 6, drafting, and they get a Drake May or something like that. Would that entice Mike Evans to stay, or do you think he'd want to leave?
I think he'd want.
Because that's where you really have to look at it.
I think he likes Baker. I really do.
Yeah.
Baker throws him the ball all the time.
Well, so that's the thing. They talk about Mike Evans. He's a class act. He likes Tampa. He's only known Tampa. Would he want to stay to see it through to kind of a Larry Fitzgerald situation when they brought Kyler Murray in?
That's what Roy
Larry could have
seems to
chased
think.
a ring.
And, Roy's closer to it than I am. We're not in that locker room on a daily basis. So,
and Mike Evans has a Super Bowl. That's the other key thing here. It's not like he'd be leaving to chase a ring. He already has at least one, So he's not selling out for that reason.
But I just don't. If Tampa has a tough time selling tickets without, when Brady was there, obviously it was sold out. Before that, it's half full. Right now, it's half full. And that's the other reason why I think Todd Bowles is gone.
Yeah, dead man walking. And that's why it is so crazy, Mark, that we're having this whole conversation. And then on the complete flip side is, if they win this weekend,
they're in first place.
They're in first place. And yeah, like you said, they get the right to host a Philly or a Dallas and lose by 20.
Where the crowd will be half Philly or Dallas, by the way. That's the other side of it.
Good call.
Because I don't think the Bucs fan looks at this. I think the Bucs fan's smart enough to see through this. They look at this division. Okay, great. They win the division. They're going to get blown out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The recent history of the franchise, they know what it's like. It hasn't been that long since they've been to the NFC Championship game. The expectation is not go 8-9 and get shellacked in the playoffs. And I understand someone has to win this division, but like you said, Mark, I don't think it's going to take them as long as people think to turn it around, and you best start now.
Miller and Moulton. It's the bonus hour brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. Stop by the Diamond District. Make sure you tell them Miller and Moulton sent you. We finish things off like we do every day with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was the day when and what's on tap. That's what's ahead right here. Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for listening. The Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hey, y'all, it's Ben Allen. When it comes to singing and performing live shows, I'm in my comfort zone. When it comes to wanting to surprise my wife with diamonds, I'm a bit lost. That's why I go see my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. Jason and Todd helped me blow my wife away when we got engaged, and I've been applauding them ever since. If you're in the market for diamonds this holiday season, Southwest Florida has been giving Jason and Todd a standing ovation for over 20 years. Go see them and let Jason and Todd know that Ben Allen sent you.
Thanks, Ben. We're proud of you and your accomplishments and thrilled that you are part of our Diamond District family.
This holiday season, visit Jason and me at the Diamond District. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, now it's back on.
Ted Stroke says it's too cold for the computer. That's actually pretty funny.
Oh. This just scares me. Monday, we're going to be somewhere where we need this thing to work.
Yeah, yep, no kidding. It's a big show Monday.
Now it shows me the internet's out again.
You're moving. Oh, yeah, it's working for now.
Now the internet's back, but
Whatever. We're just doing our best.
I thought Pittsburgh's a 5.5 point favorite. I don't know why I've been saying a 2.5 point favorite. I thought it was 2.5.
I would believe you if you said they were 8-point favorites. I'd believe you if you said it was a pick 'em.
They're so 5.5. That's in 30. They're telling you it's. I mean, they're basically saying 24-16. No, that's 40. Jesus. 18-12. That's what they're telling you. 18-12.
Yuck.
18-12, 18-13.
So how confident are you in the under? Percentage-wise?
Extremely.
90%?
It's the only bet I'd make on this game.
The under?
Yeah. You know, defensive scores could blow it.
That's true. How many do you think there is one? Over a half defensive touchdown?
I'd bet against it.
Just because?
Yeah, because I think they're both going to run so much.
Oh, that's true.
Put socks
But-
on it. That's funny, KW.
They open up that playbook and they let Trubisky throw a little bit. Oh, if I'm a Patriots fan, I would be livid if they win.
I know. I got friends that are Giants fans. They were all pissed off that the
Oh.
Giants beat the Patriots. That was like,
Oh, yeah. And I am a firm believer in you pick where you pick. You are what your record says you are. Deal with it. Make the right pick. But it's different when you could have one. And there's a player like Caleb Williams. Then it's different.
someone was very surprised you'd never seen Office Space. Now I got to see when that movie was made, and I think I think it's older than you.
Probably.
1999 film.
Oh, well, there you go. That was the year I was born. Except I was born in November of 99, so tail end. Jennifer Aniston's in that movie?
Yes.
All right, you got me. I'll watch it.
I think it's hysterical. But you've never worked in an office, so I don't know if you'd find it quite as funny as, I mean, your work experience.
My frame of reference.
Yeah, your
is
work
not-
experience isn't that. I find the movie hysterical.
Okay.
But it's very dry, and I like dry humor. I don't need slapstick. I like.
Who's your favorite comedian of all time? Or like comedic actor? Doesn't need to be like a stand-up guy, but
Stand-up guy would be it's Pryor Eddie Murphy for me.
Eddie Murphy's great.
Because I'm old. Chappelle's great.
You know who
saw Gilbert Godfrey at a comedy club?
Oh yeah.
Unbelievably funny.
He
was a funny man.
He couldn't not be with that voice.
Right.
And just a little guy and his temperament.
And he could do
everything.
impressions that blew me away.
Yeah. That's a key. You can do impressions. You know who's really funny is Charlie Murphy. God rest his soul.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Miller and Moulton. I made a mistake. I'll fess up to it. I don't know why I had the game at 2.5. It's 5.5. They're telling us 19-12, 18-12 tonight. That's the type of game you're going to see.
If you're betting the over, you are one brave human being.
But we'll get to that in a moment. It is the time of the show that we do this.
This segment, if for no other reason than to stop